welcome back to a Sims 4 tutorial video. Today we're going to be taking apart the Sims 4 for rent pack, and I'm going to show you exactly how to create an apartment or a rentable home, how to turn a regular house into a rented lot, and all that stuff in between. If there are stuff that I haven't covered in this video, please don't forget to let me know down in the comments. I'll be sure to help you out as best as I can, but I am so excited for this pack. The whole idea of it, the fact that we can rent things out, the fact that we have multiple people on one lot, the fact that we can be a nasty landlord and show them how it is. It's all just really exciting, so I want to take it step by step to appreciate it and show you and maybe teach you and maybe answer some of your thoughts in this video. To begin with, I'm going to show you this house right here, which originally is just a regular standalone home in Mount Komorebi, but I have turned this into two separate apartments. I have a regular foyer area right here with, I'm going to take the grid off by pressing G, and over here downstairs we've got your first apartment, which is accessible by this door off the foyer. I've actually built this when the pack hasn't come out yet, so I am going to change a couple of things in this. One of them being adding a mailbox. Since there's only two homes on this lot, I'm going to create a small mailbox like this. I'm going to shove it against the wall a little bit. I really don't like how far off the wall these things are, but this is going to allow all of our Sims that live on one lot to be able to access their mail here all together in this lovely foyer area. So as I said, this is your first little apartment that I've created. It is of course Japanese inspired because it is in Mount Komorebi. There are a few items from this pack, the 4 rent pack, that are Vietnamese inspired. I really do appreciate all of that kind of items in my game. I can't wait to build with more of those style objects. But we have a 2-bedroom apartment, which could be perfect for a family with maybe a child. And we've got your bathroom and separate toilet area with a living and dining area. So then you get upstairs, and I've created off of the top foyer area, the landing I suppose upstairs, you have a second apartment, which is again a 2-bedroom, so perfect for a family as well, with a bigger kind of kitchen this time and a small kind of squished in sitting room. Apartments in my head are kind of small and squished anyway, so I do enjoy creating these small tiny homes to fit as many people as I can on one lot. With this one, I just kept the exact same shape of the house, the original build, and just tried to fit in 2 apartments in that. Probably could have fit in 3 apartments and made them tiny, but I decided to go for a bit more luxury. Now, so you may be wondering, okay Sandra, you've created this build, but what now? How do I go about this next? To create this house into a residential rental lot, what you have to do is click on the little house venue info and change it from residential to residential rental. That's pretty self-explanatory. It will show you all of your details here below about it. There's not much in this menu at the moment. When you press the unit configuration, it will show you that at the moment there is technically only 1 unit on this lot, but what we need to do is configure the apartments so that the lot knows there is 2 separate houses on this one lot. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to click on each room and click down on the shared, the little shared tag right here, because right now it thinks it's shared, and we're going to create number 1. I know there's a lot of numbers there, but usually it's going to start with a number. So number 1561 Shinrin, okay, I can't pronounce that. Okay, so just ignore that. Number 1 is always going to be blue, but don't worry, you can always change your color if you click on the color tab right here. You can change it into any color you want, but normally it's just going to be that light blue at the very beginning. So I'm going to leave it like that just so you don't get confused, because I did, trust me. Then we have to make sure that we click all of the other rooms, and make sure you don't click on the items because that's not going to work. You have to click on the floor. So if you have a lot of stuff on the floor, it's going to be quite difficult to do this. So make sure you click on all of your rooms and say that they are all a part of that one blue lot. There we go. So that way now you can see an outline around the whole apartment, which makes us believe that this is now the first lot. And we are correct. It even shows you how many tiles there is and how much it actually is valued, which is good to know because that's going to make a difference in our rent price. At the bottom here, it's also going to show you suggestions of what is going to make your apartment better utility wise. So we don't have any activities. Yeah, but you can sit down and talk to each other. Don't I have like something for activities? Okay, I actually don't. Right, let me add an activity that the Sims can do. Very sorry about that. Maybe I'll just put in an easel or something. Okay, the easel's too big. I'll put in a little violin into the child's room. Perfect. Okay, it doesn't fit. Why not? Please fit the violin into the room. Okay, now, because of that violin, we now have absolutely perfect activities. But if then you decide, oh my god, I've just made a mistake, I don't care about all this, all you have to do is press assign all rooms to this unit, and that will essentially just get rid of what you just did. Now, so let's go upstairs. Same story goes for this one. You have to press on the floor of the main room and go down and scroll past that one unit, because that's our blue unit, and go into create unit. This will create you a second unit, which is going to be pink. That is just, again, the normal color, but don't forget you can always change it. And the same story goes for this. We're just going to have to go and create number 2 of that unit, which is going to come up with the number 2 in front of it. Make sure you put in all of your rooms because you don't want a mistake happening. This second apartment is now highlighted with the pink, which means that the second family will be able to move into this second pink apartment. The upstairs apartment for some reason is cheaper. The tiles are very handy to tell you which apartment is bigger. So then you are left with the foyer area, which you're going to want to leave shared because no one's going to be living here. You can also create a little house at the back for your sim if you wanted your actual landlord to live on the salat as well. So you would also create a unit especially for that, but make sure you move your sim into that so that no one else moves into that lot. Everyone has the right to leave their apartment and use all these shared spaces, which I think is really fun. Brings a sense of community. It's nice to see loads of sims actually leaving their apartments and like hanging out together and socializing. I think that's a really fun aspect. So that essentially is how you create 2 separate lots. And now you can see when you zoom out, you can see those tiny little lines through your apartment. That is going to tell you exactly that there are 2 separate lots here and that 2 separate families can move in. So now just say your sim is after moving into a brand new world and they want to become a landlord. How do we go about that? Make sure your sim obviously has a lot of money so that they can afford to buy a house. What you're going to have to do then is click on the phone, go into business, and then buy a residential rental. I was stuck with this for a while, couldn't find it for the life of me. You can also click on the business tab at the very bottom in owned businesses, and that will also allow you to buy a residential lot. So you can actually buy any empty residential lot, even though it doesn't have 2 separate apartments on it. I can even buy this residential park up there. That's kind of weird. We're going to go for this one that of course I have built, and we're going to go for it furnished. Now we are here on the slot, and again we're back into the exact same menu that shows us our 2 apartments, and we can now make changes and add things according to what we want to be in these apartments. But I'm over with that. I think the apartments are perfect. So now what you're gonna have to do is quit prank day because this is not the day for prank day today. Now in your owned business menu, you are going to see your 2 units. So what we need to do is fill them up. I'm going to click on fill vacancy. So you can actually be on the lot of which you are trying to fill. So we're in this apartment. The apartment upstairs, because we're technically not on that lot because it is locked away a loading screen, none of the items will be shown to you, which is actually a really good thing because if you had both of those apartments visible with absolutely every single item and every family in them, your game would not be able to run as smoothly as it does. So the way that this game actually is able to work on your PC/laptop is because they do hide away everything in the second apartment, and if I wanted to visit that apartment, I have to visit the unit and go through a loading screen, which I know is annoying. I don't really like loading screens. There is quite a lot of them in this pack, but unfortunately we have to go through them to make this work. So I'm going to fill this vacancy considering we're not on that lot, and this is where it actually gets exciting. You can set your max rent to 150 simoleons per day, which this will vary depending on the size of your apartment, your amenities, the environment, everything. The amount of bedrooms, I suppose. This price will change depending on that. And then you can also do as many days of a lease that you want. So it states 7 at the beginning, but you can literally do anything. You can even do 1 if you're trying to run a hotel, which is actually a pretty fun idea. Then it shows you here your unit rating, which everything is actually quite good except for your maintenance because we haven't gotten into the apartment yet. This is going to be poor at the very beginning. This is where it gets kind of sketchy because you can set your rules in your apartment. So in my Let's Play at the moment, I actually set like all of these except for no pets because I think that's really mean. People should be allowed to have pets. But I said all of these and you can get a lot of money because people like to break the rules in The Sims. Then when you click next, this is where you will find the people that would like to move in. So the people that are interested in your apartment. Sometimes there actually seems to be a lot more people. I wonder, does that depend on the price I set or maybe the rules? So when do we go up with the price to 100 and then set no rules? No, they're still the exact same people. Okay, that's very interesting. So I've set the amount to be 100. So I know that these people right here, the ones that are wanting to pay the rent cap, 91, 85, 82, that's below what I want. So I would be more interested in the people up here. So this person right here, Robertson, I think that's actually the same person that moved into my apartments. That's kind of weird. He wants to pay 143 simoleons. So that seems pretty good for us. Now you can click done and this instantly will fill that spot for you. Oh yeah, it actually is the exact same person. Colin Robertson. He is in my Let's Play. That's so strange. You can see the full agreement here all the time. So everything is black and white. If they're trying to tell you something that isn't true, well, you can always look at your tenant agreement, which is very handy. And really quickly, you can always travel to their lot as well. It's always good to note that you will have to pay a daily unit tax. This is at the very bottom here. It says that I'm paying 50 per unit. So the fact that I'm getting my daily income at 100, that's already kind of good for us. Because I set the rent to be 100, the guy is actually only going to pay 100 now. So I probably should have made it a bit higher because he wanted to pay 142 or something. We're still making profit for the time being. Let me travel to his lot now and try fill the other vacancy as well. Okay, we are on the other lot, and this one seems to be extremely glitched for some reason. It's like weirdly grayed out and stuff. That is so strange. Look at it. I don't really like the way it looks. That doesn't usually look like that. Oh my god, why is this glitched as well? And why is the door flashing? There's definitely something glitched out here. Okay, we're talking extremely closely. Hi, how are you? I am your landlord. There's a couple of things you can do in the social menu. So in the rental, you can ask about the rental conditions, which they will tell you exactly if there's something wrong. You can unjustly evict, which will give you a few consequences. So definitely don't do that unless you want to have a bad rating and everyone hates you. You can also blame the tenants, which I just think, you know, if you like to stir the pot a little bit, this is definitely quite exciting. But it's kind of nice that you can create nice relationships with your tenants so that you can be a lovely landlord. There are a few glitches in this pack that I've seen already, so I'm hoping that these things will get sorted pretty soon for us. But anyway, I'm going to fill the second vacancy. Okay, so for this one, someone wants to pay, okay, there's 3 people here, 2 elders and a teen. They are interested to pay 133, so that's perfect. I'm going to change this to 133. There's 162 max rent for this lot because this one was a little bit more expensive and a little bit better. And for this one, I'm going to do quite a few rules. And yeah, I'm going to let these people move in too. So now you can see the Nishidake family and the Robertson family have moved into this apartment. And now we are making a daily income of 233, which I think that's pretty good for a start because you can have 6 units on one lot. Something funny about this pack is that you can actually break into people's homes, which starts an event, but it lets you break in for like 3 hours so that you can snoop around the person's apartment. That's pretty mean, but you can do it. You can also eavesdrop. And also if you have the nosy trait, you can spy on people in this pack. It's a bit crazy. But the fun thing about this too is that you can switch control to each household just by clicking on the door. So it allows you to play as so many families just with one click. I know there's obviously still a loading screen, but that's the way it has to be. Your PC wouldn't be able to run it otherwise, especially because we can have 6 families on one lot. Imagine having 6 families all living together. A question that I actually have, what if we were to actually go into San Myshuno? Bear in mind, San Myshuno already has apartments in it. What if I created apartments within apartments? How does that make any sense then, you know? Just say if I go into this massive apartment right here. Oh, never mind. Okay, so you can't create apartments within apartments. It kind of would have been really cool if I was able to divide this massive apartment into 2 separate apartments, but you can't actually change the lot type of these apartments. So that's a bit of a shame because how fun would that be to create like apartments up really high and be able to, you know, be a landlord for them? I think that would be quite fun. Maybe that's something we'll be able to do in the future. I'm not really sure. But technically, I think we still can own these apartments. We just can't create any more from this lot, if you get me. The world that comes with this pack is absolutely stunning. It has 2 separate areas, and this one actually has an apartment that has 2 people living in it, but there is one still available. And it is pretty cheap actually. It's 65 per day, but it has mold and it's spooky. This is a pre-made apartment by Maxis, and so this is what 65 simoleons a day is worth right now on the market. This is the front door. I suppose you come in. It's quite a small little hallway area. If you wanted to get rid of the markings, if you're just kind of looking at the lot, you can press O to get rid of them, and you can then also press G to get rid of the grids. And that way then it's easier for us to kind of examine this situation. Okay, we've got a pretty nice decent sized bathroom, which I feel like they could have made a little bit smaller. I mean, it's for the size of the house. I feel like that bathroom could be, you know, pushed over a little bit this way to give them a little bit more room, if you get me. I mean, that's still a decent bathroom. But anyways, we will not judge. Maxis match. We then also have a few different kind of items thrown together. The bin is like in the middle of the room. I love this painting, so that's pretty nice. And we've got a pretty nice kitchen actually for us. We've got the rice cooker, we've got a kettle. All the amenities seem to be in order. We then also have a double bedroom and then 2 little single beds here. So this would be perfect for a family. And you also then have access to a little back door area that you can actually share with your neighbors. So that's not bad. I mean, it would be nice if this was a bit more of a private area for yourself, I suppose. But you know, the Sims do really want to bring that sense of community in. In real life, we would like to make a little bit of a private backdoor area. You can have every single lot have different traits. So particularly this one, the one that we're looking at right now, doesn't have any lot traits, but it has challenges. And these are the ones that are scary because we have mold now. And this is something I was so triggered by when the pack came out, because there are so many Irish apartments here that have such bad black mold that people actually do really get sick from. And the Sims have created a death based on this mold in the Sims. So this is pretty crazy. You can literally create apartments for every lot in the world. And I have actually recently done that with Brindleton Bay, which I have created a 3 massive apartment complex here right on the deck of Brindleton Bay. It kind of seems a bit too fancy for the area, but whatever. I think it still looks cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to turn this into apartments. One thing to note actually is that you cannot change the lot unless it is unoccupied. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to evict the family that live in this house. Sorry about that. Not my rules. Now, I'm going to change this to residential rental, and I'm going to create this first story as the one cat scratch cottage. Is that what it's called? Cat scratch cottage? I don't think that's what it should be called. I think I prefer this to be seaside apartments. I don't know, that's kind of boring. I think this is still glitched in the sense that if you change the name of the lot, the actual name of the lot doesn't change here. So I feel like that's something that they're going to have to fix. I'm going to change this into lot number 1, and I'm going to change the color of that to orange. So this is my first little orange apartment. Oh wait, I forgot the bathroom. It is a bit hard sometimes when I've cluttered the apartment so much. It's hard to like press on the floor. There we go. So now that is my first apartment. This is apartment number 2, which I'm going to change to maybe purple. Apartment number 2, apartment number 2, and apartment number 2. Oh, forgot about the balcony again. And then number 3. If you'd like to see this build, I have it actually linked for you down below if you'd like to see how I created this. So there we have it. That is now ready for someone to move into. This is the apartment that my Sim is currently living in. It is grooty, filthy, and moldy. And honestly, I haven't actually had much mold in the game yet. I've created just a 2 separate apartment kind of complex, and I'm actually the property owner, and I live in this horrible little apartment. And there is a guy, the same guy actually, what's his name? Colin? Yeah, Colin lives upstairs in my Let's Play, because clearly the game can't get enough of Colin. So as a landlord, you do actually have to do a couple of things, one of them being, oh, there is Colin. You have to make sure that the water heater and the electrical fuse box works in perfect condition. So my Sim right now is doing a little inspection. You can also upgrade these things, so handiness skill and gardening and things like that is going to be very good for your Sim to be the best landlord possible. But don't you worry, because your tenants will tell you if there's something wrong. You can also visit the unit that your tenant lives in to do like a little inspection check. I love the way my Sim is in her pajamas. What I can do is just come in and do a little bit of inspection and maintenance to make sure that everything is working in tip-top shape and that everything is perfect, so he has nothing to complain about, because we're trying to be the best landlord. But of course, you can play this the opposite way around and be the worst landlord too. I think this adds so much gameplay and kind of like a challenge aspect to The Sims, which, excuse me, is he scaring me? Oh my god, he just scared me. I'm embarrassed now. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of inspection maintenance to make sure that the sink is, you know, working in perfect condition. It looks like it is. I don't know what I'm writing down there with my hairy arms, but I think it's working in perfect condition. Oh my god, I can prank his toilet. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Anyways, this is also one of the apartment, well, actually, these are more homes that I've created for rent as well in this new world, which is actually absolutely stunning. And I am going to be using this for my Let's Play, so definitely check that out as well. I'm going to leave all of that linked for you below if you'd like to kind of figure everything out with me, because I know I wanted to make a separate video like this just in case there's any specific questions that you can leave for me down below. But in my Let's Play, I am kind of explaining everything bit by bit as we're experiencing everything, which I think is kind of fun as well. I personally think this pack is so worth the money because there's so much gameplay added. There's so many lovely items. The world is beautiful. It's just one of those packs for me, I think, that adds so much more gameplay and works so well with all the other packs. So it is definitely worth the money. It's kind of like Seasons, you know. It's so great to be able to be a landlord and have that as a job opportunity. I think it's really fun. As per usual, I'm going to leave everything linked for you down below. And as I said 100 times, if you have any other questions, please feel free to start a little chat with me. Or if you want to give me any advice, I'm always there to take advice, even though I try to give it as best as I can. I'm here to take the advice as well. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!